Hello students. So we are preparing ourselves for the second semester examination. Now so far as I know that we have completed all the chapters and we have started our revision. Now only one chapter that is left, that is Indian democracy and the challenges. That part we have done, and according to the reduced syllabus we have casteism, regionalism and communalism, and in all we have the meanings. First of all, let me tell you the syllabus. Democracy in India, we have caste, meaning, role of caste in Indian politics. Then we have communalism, meaning and effects on the functioning of Indian democracy. And then we have regionalism, meaning and causes. Then kind of regional aspirations like the language issue, son of the soil policies, river water dispute, and demand for new states and secessionist demands. So we will gradually discuss all them one by one. First of all, we must discuss that what is national integration and how these are causing as a challenge to the integration of the country, or how it is posing a challenge to the Indian democracy. India, as we know, is the land of widespread diversities in terms of religion, language, caste, tribe, race, region, and so on. Hence, the achievement of national integration becomes very, very essential for all around development and prosperity of the country, because more a country is integrated, more will be its national development. Now, meaning of national integration, we are not going into the meaning. Let me give you a short description of what is national integration. Implies avoidance of divisive movement that would create problem to the nation, and presence of attitude throughout the society that give preference to national and public interests as distinct from parochial interest. So national integration is a socio-psychological and educational process through which a feeling of unity, solidarity and cohesion develops in the hearts of the people, and a sense of common citizenship or feeling of loyalty to the nation is fostered among them. National integration is not a house which could be built by a mortar and bricks. It is not an industrial plan too, which could be discussed and implemented by experts. Integration, on the contrary, is a thought which must go into the heads of the people. It is the consciousness which must awaken the people at large. So, dear students, hope all of you can understand that it's not a building which can be built by mortar and bricks, nor it's a industry which can be made according to a plan. It is a thought process of the people that should be awakened. The consciousness about the national integration should be understood by each and every individual. It is cohesion and not fusion, unity but not uniformity, reconciliation but not merger, agglomeration but not assimilation of the discrete segments of the people, constituting a political community of state. So, to sum up, the concept of national integration involves political, economic, social, cultural and psychological dimensions and the interrelations between them. Now, we will first discuss the obstacles which come in front of us, which acts as a hindrance for the national integration. First is casteism. So, we know that India is a land of diverse caste, culture, etc., and quite natural we will have to face certain problems so far as caste system is concerned. You know that one of the biggest hindrance in the Indian development is the caste system. Casteism implies love for one's own caste group in preference to the general national interest. So, national interest is sidelined, more importance is given to the caste. So, that will gradually weaken the integrity of the country. It is mainly an outcome of the politicization of caste in various manifestations include. Now, mainly caste is politicized, and we will see today what are the different manifestations, how it is implemented. Say for example, the formation of political parties on the basis of caste. So, if a country in the 21st century is forming political parties on the basis of caste, then you can jolly well understand how much effect it has, how much caste affects Indian politics. We have the caste based political parties like Justice Party in Madras, DMK, Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, Kerala Congress, Republican Party, Bahujan Samaj Party, and so on. Innumerable parties are there, and they are all based on the caste loyalty. Emergence of pressure group, that is non-political pressure group. Why they are known as pressure group? Because they create pressure on the government to get their work done. So they are non-political, they directly do not participate in the political parties, but they indirectly, externally they put pressure. Based on caste like Nadar Association, Harijan Sevak Sangh, Kshatriya Mahasabha, and so on. So these are non-governmental entities, they do not directly participate in the political parties, that because of their technique of putting pressure, they are known as the pressure group. Most important, allotment of party tickets during election and the formation of council of ministers in the state on caste line. So every political party, when they give ticket to the candidates for contesting election, they see that the candidate who is getting ticket must be of the majority party of that section of that caste. So you see that every political party, even which political parties which considers to be itself a secular or rather more liberal, even they choose candidates. Suppose a place where more number of SC STs are living, so they will give ticket to the Bahujan Samaj Party will give ticket to a SC ST only, and not only Bahujan Samaj Party, other political parties also will try to give ticket to people belonging to SC ST. That means even if Congress is filling their candidates or BJP is filling their candidates, they ensure that the candidates who get the tickets are from the SC ST. Allotment of party ticket during election, and most important is the government is formed on the basis of the party line. Next, caste conflict between the highest and the lowest group. This is also very much prevalent in our country. It is or between dominant caste in various states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and so on. So these are the states: Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and these are the states where still now, even after the passing of so many legislative acts, still now this fight between the upper class and the lower class continues. Violent disputes and agitations over reservation policies. So you see, these are known as the protective reservations. The backward communities, their seats are reserved, but throughout India, in several places, there are violent disputes, again agitation over the reservation policy. So this is what we have seen about the caste. At the state level, the politics is basically a fight against the major caste group like Kamma versus Reddy in Andhra Pradesh, Lingayat versus Bhokalinga in Karnataka, Sayar versus Ijava in Kerala, Baniya versus Patidar in Gujarat, Bhumiyar versus Rajput in Bihar, Jat versus Ahir in Haryana, Jat versus Rajput in Uttar Pradesh, Kalita versus Ahom in Assam, and so on. So you see, there is always a conflict at the state level. In the central level we have seen, it is prevalent at the state level also. So this is all we have about the casteism. Now we will discuss about what is regionalism. What is regionalism? Regionalism means love for a particular region. That is fine. There is no problem in it. It is regionalism refers to subnationalism. So nationalism is important, but subnationalism means love for only his own region. So own region development, but the entire country's development is at stake. And sub-territorial loyalty, it implies the love for a particular region or state in preference to the country as a whole. So people are more loyal, more concerned for the loyalty of a particular region, but not of the entire country. There is also sub-regionalism, that is, love for a particular region in preference to the state of which the region forms a part. So regionalism means love for his own region, not for the entire country. So today we will do up to this. Next day we will continue from regionalism. Till then, all of you take care of yourself, read the chapter and read the things that I have listened again and again, so that you can add these new things in your answer. Till then, goodbye.